Taking a breath, darling. What are you up to?
Oh, hi, Shell. Hi.
Hi.
Well, I'm just reading. Look what I found here. It's a passage from a witty, humorous article I discovered last week, and it's called "A Retrospective of 4 Years of Science." And I discovered this. Listen, the last 4 years have played havoc with the mental health of the entire population, regardless of which filter bubble you were in. Like a Swiss historian said, the last 4 years, we had the first group who was afraid of a potentially deadly virus. The second group was afraid of losing their job or their existence. And the third group was afraid of an invasive, dominant regime. And all of them, really all of them, lived out their neurosis in public. Fun,
Just like
isn't
I
it?
do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, there is a constant stream of situations that you can only handle with humor. And that's why sarcasm and cynicism became my companions, if only to avoid having to bang my head on the table in some situations or having loud screaming spasms. And my question is actually, since a little while, how can we escape this and remain true to ourselves?
Wow. I reckon we should make some breathing space.
Yes. Make some breathing space and talk about the power of the breath. And that's why we have Ben in here today. Hi, Ben.
Voila. Ben.
Hi. A pleasure to see you both.
This is really, really amazing. Just a short overview for everyone tuning in. Ben has been one of great teachers that I've had the pleasure of learning from in probably the last 5 years, when we first connected through Jamie Catto's Insanely Gifted School. And I've gone on to really enjoy the wonderful breathwork offerings that Breathing Space has brought my way and to others in my community. So I thank you for your leadership, Ben, and for all the goodness that you've been bringing to the wellness world. Better take a breath
Thank
on
you,
that.
Shell. Is it? Yeah, I think we definitely can take a breath. Let's do that first, shall we? Let's we all have a breath. And if you're watching this, have a breath with us.
Yeah, having a
Thank
breath
you.
became actually one of my things I do the most often during the day. And I also had the pleasure to meet Ben in Breathing Space, being his student, doing the Breathing Space facilitator course, teacher training and everything, meeting a great community. We are not going to dive into all the things you do now, because we are going to link the breathing space under this video, and everybody can have a look at it. Also discover free breathing sessions on every time of the day or of the week, just as we are here. I mean, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm having my coffee here. Shell, it's 9 in the evening. What time is it yours, Ben?
It's 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
We are kind of timeless, are we? Or every
I
time?
think so.
Yeah. So Ben, are you able to just tell us a little bit at the moment about like where you're actually at in the world and what's brewing? What's brewing for you?
I would love to. I wish I could actually show you where I am. I wish I could take my camera out and give you a panoramic view, because I'm in one of the most Blade Runner cities of the world. About 4 months ago, my wife and I decided we'd had enough of living a normal sedentary life. We'd been stuck in Canada for about 4 years. Neither of us are settling down types. We're nomads at heart. So we packed everything up, we sold everything, and then we began our travels. we find ourselves now in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, which is quite the most incredible city. I was just up on the rooftop late last night watching a thunderstorm rolling across the city, and it was an incredible spectacle. Before that, we were in Thailand for a couple of months in Bangkok, which is another very Blade Runner city. My home is the UK. You might tell that from my Cockney gangster type accent. And we spent about a month there. And tomorrow we leave for Bali, which is actually where I discovered breathwork almost 10 years ago to the day. So it feels like you catch me at a really special moment where I am returning in some ways home to my breath.
That's such a nice cycle, which is evolving actually. And also for me, another sign how powerful actually the breath is. What I could also discover the last 4 years since I met you, Ben, and breath work is actually something so contemporary now that Vogue called it the new yoga. So I was also quite surprised when I started looking into it, because well, okay, I was also consuming some dodgy tonics and teas to get healthier, but I was asking myself the question, do I really, really need to strive for fresh air? Sometimes I have the feeling, I had the feeling, most correctly, that I don't need to think about my breath. I do it automatically. Like if somebody tells me you're breathing wrong, then it would be the same that if he told me that I was blinking the wrong way. We don't think about our breath very often. Well, most of the people don't. But for me, it became an inner pharmacy, a remedy to connect more deeply, a recipe also to find peace and recharge. But of course, the most needed slowing down. But also it is a key to new energy and a gateway for deep learning and understanding. An expand of consciousness, or maybe what I'm talking here is just the effect of DMT, which is also released in some breathing exercises. And I don't know, what is the breath actually for you, Ben?
Thank you, Michelle. That was a beautiful summary, I think, of all the things that breath can be for us. And it's a really big question that you asked. What is the breath? Well, for me, a breath is a doorway. It's an open window into connection. Connection to ourselves, first of all, to our innermost selves, our wisest, truest, and our highest selves. It's a connection to each other because we are all breathing together. We're all breathing the same air. And we are, even though we're on completely opposite parts of the world, we will be breathing some of the same air molecules, but even deeper than that, even more powerfully than that, our breath can help us connect to something even more powerful, even deeper, even more awesome. It can help us connect to the true nature of reality, source, whatever you wish to call it. It is a spiritual tool as well as everything else that it does. Many people, when you say breath work, most people understand the power of it and how important it is, even just to stop and pause and take a breath before something stressful, or if you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed. Everyone understands the power of the breath can help in emotional regulation, in soothing us when we're stressed, but our breath can be so much more. And I'm not surprised if I called it the new yoga. I've been calling it that for about 7 or 8 years as catching on. But it can help us with our physical performance, it can help us with our fitness, it can help us with our well-being, it can help us release trauma, it can help us with mental clarity, it can help us with inspiration and creativity. It can help us connect with deeper, more powerful, magical, shamanic kind of realms. And it can help us connect to spirit, to that true nature of reality. So for me, this is a big question. Breath is connection to everything that we want it to be. Thank you for asking that question.
And I especially love that you mentioned the inspiration, because when we stay with the word Spirit, which comes from the Latin, the Roman used it as well. Spirit means breath of life, actually. So we inspire, we are breathing our thoughts and exhale our ideas, our creations. So, Shell, what's the breath for you?
Thanks, Michelle, for asking that, and beautiful to hear your words. I think doorways really stuck with me, actually, Ben. And I look at it a bit like the cycle of life, and that taking in of this, ether that is there for all of us, that we're fortunate enough to be able to connect in and to take it in and to actually notice the difference, the impact it actually has. To have that awareness has been one of the gifts of sort of 15 years of different breathwork practice. So for me, I think of words like vitality. I think of cleansing, like very much on a cellular level, that you have this opportunity by, taking in breath, that you can oxygenate, all the way out to all your capillaries, all the parts of the body, and then expel another form of breath, which has been chemically changed and has another impact in the ether. And so very sciencey, I suppose, but for me, it's fascinating. It's fascinating in terms of the impact it has, but it's life. Breath is life. So yeah, that's my high level thoughts on it. Even though you've mentioned both, beautiful, beautiful things and ways of seeing breath.
I've got an
Thanks.
idea I'd like to pitch to you. Shall, I love that description of our breath as a doorway. And for everyone who's listening to this or watching this, I'm sure that you have tried many different pathways, many different ways of discovery, of exploration. There are lots. We've mentioned just yoga, but breathwork is one of those. And there's many, many, many that we could explore. Now we can talk about our breath. We could talk about, I can talk about it till the cows come home. But how about we take some breaths together? And if you're watching this, how about you try doing this with us? So this isn't just us trying to paint a picture of what breath is like. How about you actually take some conscious breaths with us? How does that sound to you both? If I led a few conscious breaths?
With pleasure.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, I know you two are pretty experienced breathers. So when I talk about the breath, this is really for people watching this. Now, I'm going to lead you in about a minute and a half of conscious breath work. Now, this is a very, very powerful breath work. I call this meditation for those people who can't meditate. I call it therapy for those people who don't want to talk about their problems. And I call it plant medicine for those people who don't want to take drugs and don't want to spend hours puking into a bucket, because it is that powerful. This breathwork that I'm about to demonstrate with you, I'm about to do with you, can change your life in a moment, in just a breath. And that's a big claim, I know, but it's happened to me. It happened to me, and I have seen it happen in hundreds, maybe thousands of other people. Now, normally, when we do this breath work, it's over a longer period, at least 30 minutes. And we frame it fully so it's safe. Because like anything really powerful, there are, of course, a few warnings on the tin, a few safeguards that we need to do to make you absolutely get the best out of this experience. Now, we're not going to do a full session today. We're just going to do a minute or two, which is safe for pretty much everyone, unless you're driving a car, unless you're playing with knives, sticking your hand into machinery, or anything else like that. Okay, please only do this following breathwork with me if you're in a supported position, sitting or lying down, and you're not going to be disturbed for the next few minutes. Does that sound good to you both?
Awesome.
I'm not handling
see you.
knives. I'm not driving the car. I'm just lying back. So be comfortable and get ready.
Okay. Well, I will teach you the technique as we go on, but this breathwork practice is really deep. And I think I'd like to make it of use for you. So we'll just do a very short breathwork meditation first, and then we will lead straight into the breath world. And I will explain how to do that as we begin. We'll do the full conscious breath work for about 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds, depending on how we go. But I'd like you both to close your eyes. And if you're listening, please do the same. Breathe gently in and out through the nose. And just feel your body move as you breathe. Feel your chest rise and fall. Feel the air against your skin. And feel as it enters your body, cool as it comes through your nostrils. Now on an inhale, take your awareness inside, that still, quiet place within. That place of wisdom, kindness and strength, love, where your wisest, truest and highest self resides. Let's take a few breaths here. We all have this place within us. A place of stillness, and a place of abiding, where we already have all the answers. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to listen to the answer that arises in your heart, rather than just think of the answer. If there was a challenge that you're facing in your life right now, that you needed some insight on, what would that be? If there is a challenge in your life that you're facing right now, that you needed some help, some guidance, some advice, you needed some inspiration around, that challenge be? So in a moment, we'll start our breath work. And I want you to listen to any answers that come to that situation as we move. Now let's begin. Open your mouth wide, really wide, as if you're biting an apple. That's it. Now start taking full body breaths into every part of your body. That's it. Now, here's the most important part. Connect your breath. That means no pauses at the top, no pauses at the bottom. As soon as one breath ends, the next begins. Now pull on the inhale, let go on the exhale. That's it. Now, we are already 30 seconds in. We have 60 seconds left to breathe as fully as you can. Breathe as if your life depended on it for the next 60 seconds. The next 45 seconds. That's it. Fill yourself up. Fill yourself up. This is the breath of life, of vitality, you called it, Shell. This is an opportunity. This is an invitation. This is a doorway. You have 30 seconds left to breathe it all in. Breathe in the light, the life, the wisdom, the love, everything that it means to be human. That's it. Just 20 seconds left. You can do this. You can take it all in. Let that breath light you up. Let it fill you up. You can feel it now. You can feel it all the way through your body. Just 10 more seconds. Take these 10 breaths now. 5 more breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Close your mouth. Breathe through your nose. Put some pauses in. And just stay for a moment in all the physical sensations that you will certainly be feeling right now. The blood pounding, the tingles, maybe the dry throat, maybe the changes of temperature. To feel your body return to equilibrium. Now let's return to that question. If there was a challenge that you are facing in your life right now, that you needed some guidance on, some advice, help, some inspiration, feel it now. There may be some words, there may be a message that comes to you, it may also just be a feeling, a sensation in the heart. You start to come back, so leave your eyes open, give yourself a shake, and give me a smile. Even if you're watching this on the recording, I can still feel it. I can feel these hundreds, perhaps thousands of smiles coming in through time as well as space.
Tens of
So,
thousands.
Michelle, tens of thousands. Welcome back, both of you. Now, we always have a sharing space. And before I fully hand back over the reins of this interview back to you, our role as a facilitator is just to invite you to share anything that came up for you in those few breaths, that 90 seconds of breathing together. Michelle, is there anything that you felt as you're doing breathwork?
Yes. A memory hit me to do this more often during the day, first of all, because I always see more clear when I open my eyes. I feel more refreshed. And I had this one sentence in my head which said to me, don't be afraid of life.
Don't be afraid of life. I think we can all take a breath with that. And as we take a breath, just feel those words and the power of those words echo in your own heart. Don't be afraid of living. Thank you, Michelle. How about you, Michelle?
That's beautiful, Michelle. First of all, it was like, this has been a missing piece. There's been many other little wellness things I've been doing, but I have actually not been doing breath work for quite some time. And I really, really had this sense of like loss and missing it. But both times when you asked the question, I got back clear as anything. You have all the resources you need, which was superb twice, clearly, with each time you asked. So thank you.
You have all the resources that you need. Yes, Shell, you do. And we all have that inside of us. Life very rarely hands us anything we cannot cope with. So let's just take a breath, and I want everyone to feel that. Feel that we have everything that we need inside us already. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to hold the reins for a little while.
With pleasure,
I'll
with
pass them
pleasure.
back to you now.
With pleasure. We love to join your breathing sessions, especially when you held them. You have so much beautiful things on your website, like those 3 sessions every day of the week. And
Insight timer, I want to add. It's great to see you on there, Ben. That's really, really cool. It's a great free app and another way, you know, that people can access some goodness. And you know, obviously always appreciate being able to pay and honor people for the work that they do, but there's nothing like a wee bit of free for people to segue into the wellness world. So yeah, it's fantastic.
I am really passionate about the breath. I feel like I'm one of those old school revivalist preachers who goes out, stands on a soapbox and spreads the word of something that I passionately believe in, that can support and help transform everyone. So I do so much out there to spread the word of breathwork, to give little tastes to everyone about what is possible. You know, I look around the world and I see so many people carrying burdens that they don't need to carry, with their shoulders slumped in defeat. I see so many people lost in darkness, full of anxiety, full of pain and full of terror, which we all have. And breathwork isn't a kind of a snap your fingers and then it's all gone. It cannot change those things, but it can make us cope with it better. It can help us elevate ourselves up above and beyond, the material world in which we find ourselves. It can do so much for us. So yeah, I am absolutely passionate about what I do because it's changed things for me. I've seen it change people and others. And if anyone who is listening or watching this, it can change things for you as well.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Well, it's actually also a reminder to breathe like we should breathe, because our body wants to breathe that way. When you look at a little baby, he's like breathing relaxed and deep in his belly. That's how we should breathe in the first place. But for many people, breathing has changed, as you said, due to trauma, poor posture, prolonged sitting, and a variety of environmental factors as well. What I hear often in breathwork sessions I give once a month, people are expecting something. They try to force into something to feel a certain way. But I keep explaining it's not about expecting or forcing something. It's about letting go, actually. Letting go and letting the breath do his work.
That's a good way to put it. That's a really good way to put it. The breath always gives us what we need. It might not be what we want or what we think we want, but it will always give us what we need. And with some people, they may need just 30 minutes of lying down, relaxing, without the weight of the world on their shoulders. Some people, they find it difficult to give themselves time, away from family or work. Every minute has to be filled up. For some people, they can only do that during the breathwork session. The breath that we did, the conscious breath work, however, if you fully work at it and put some effort into it, I mean, it's called breath work, it will almost always have a very powerful physical effect on you. If nothing else, if there aren't any answers to any big questions that you have or any breakthroughs or transformations, it will always have a deep physical benefit to your body as well. You are right, though, Michelle. We all come in with so much expectation. I want transformation. I want elevation. I want, enlightenment right here, right now. It doesn't really work like that.
Working through the catalog, swiping. What can I try next? That's what we do for you. We try it, shall, isn't it? We try it and we talk about it. Yeah.
And Ben, just talking about, say, transformation and enlightenment in the breathwork context, it makes me think about the many styles of breathwork that are around. And in particular, I think people in my wellness community, if they've got a reservation about breathwork, it's from visualizing some of the perhaps quite, I would say, more extreme traumatic responses where people are shaking and crying and heaving. And I wonder if you have a viewpoint on the positives of that or the negatives. I know it's a different teaching or style potentially, but it is actually also possibly an outcome that could happen with conscious connected breathwork or any other style. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd be delighted to speak about that. So for the breath work that we did, conscious breath work, has a huge potential for people to go into catharsis, is a technical name for it, where they can process deep emotions. And that can come along with some very loud noises, some deep shaking, some tears. It is possible for people to process emotion in that extreme manner. It doesn't always happen. And people have a preference often around what they want from breathwork. Some people are scared of that big emotion release. Many people have wounds around expressing emotion. Many people are taught from a very early age that expressing emotion, whether that is anger, whether that is joy, we're all told at a young age, stop showing off, for instance, whether that is sadness or grief, when we're told you've got to cheer up. So many people feel uncomfortable around, big releases of energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's many facilitators that I know that don't like those big, dramatic places either. Many people think that just gets in the way. That's just people acting out and playing up, that they don't need it. And it's true, you don't always need to have those big dramatic releases. For me personally, I think it's got a place. I think it's sometimes a necessary stage that you have to go through in a breathwork journey, that you have to kind of understand that it is there. And humanity has always had these big moments of energetic release, and it's part of many people's lives. Going out dancing, for instance, or taking recreational drugs. There is something about that moment of losing yourself that is an important part of being human. It doesn't mean we have to be like that all the time, or every breathwork has to be like that. Most people find they have these climactic, cathartic releases early on in their breathwork, if they're doing conscious breathwork a lot, but then they move past them. That it stops becoming quite so powerful, quite climactic, and people level out. But at that moment, I find the breathwork becomes even more powerful, more profound. It becomes the ability to connect with that divine place within us, without all the carrying on, without all the the song and the dance. We can drop into that space of stillness and strength and power, that magical place within us very quickly, very easily, very joyful, without having to go through that. So I understand that some people are put off by it, or scared by it, don't want to do it, or have had bad experiences with it. That happens. It doesn't mean that is bad in itself. I know many people who love it, many people who chase it, which is equally as bad and gets in the way as much as well. So there's a place for it, not for everyone. Some people have different reasons for avoiding it, that are often a very fertile ground for exploration.
Wow. Thank you. I've never heard anyone so well explain it and make it open to understand all the possibilities.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Breathwork,
appreciate that. Mm.
breathwork can be, like many other disciplines, there are certain schools in breathwork who are very prescriptive, that will say breathwork has to be like this, or you're doing it wrong, or you must do it like that. I don't think that's helpful at all. We get these messages that this is right and this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, this is bad. Not helpful. Actually, it
Supervised
gets in
thinking.
the way. Yeah, we're here to empower people, to say, find out what is right for you at this moment in time. My role as a facilitator is to empower you, not to tell you that you're wrong, to reinforce so many lessons that you might have got when you were young. So my encouragement, there's a lot of different breathworks. Breathwork, we're talking about conscious breathwork, but there's so many other techniques like emotional regulation, which has got nothing to do with trauma release at all, or breathwork for physical health and well-being, which again has got nothing to do with trauma release. But I still encourage people to explore it because there's so much gold in there for people.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
As you
fabulous.
said, everybody should take what resonates with them and what feels right for them, and then try it out. I mean, there's so many wellness offers now. There was like the pioneer of breath work, one of the pioneers, Wim Hof, who does like holding the air for 9 minutes and diving into deep freezing waters. What I also tried. Maybe we come back to this subject, but yeah, really take what resonates with you. I mean, you can try everywhere, you can try everything and take what resonates with you and do your own thing around this. Yeah, that's the essence. I mean, we are unfortunately, because I could talk hours about this subject, actually, we are coming slowly to the end. And as you noticed, maybe already, you don't necessarily have to be a vegan, or you don't have to do the gym or know how to meditate. With just a little information, you can start to learn how to use your breath in a specific way and have a significant impact on the quality of your physical health, as Ben said, emotional well-being, and of course, mental performance. And yeah, I like that beautiful sentence. Sometimes the easiest things lie right under our nose.
Yeah, that's amazing, actually. I'm going to use that myself. Sometimes the most powerful things are through our nose. How about that?
The most powerful
Yeah.
things, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we are, yeah,
So I
Shell?
was gonna say, just so fortunate to have you here as
Yes.
our first guest. And to see you, Ben, and hear how you're doing, and just that passion you have for what you do and you bring to the world. That's what inspires us, and that's you're one of the reasons we're here right now. So huge gratitude, and also to acknowledge Jennifer as well, because I know she's another huge part of breathing space in the background. So yeah.
Thank you so much for recognizing Jen as well. But I also just want to, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me on as your first guest. It's a huge honor and privilege for me to do this. To be an honorary wildflower for a bit, which is a beautiful image, and I think so well reflects you both. But I also say I'm terrifically proud of you both. Having worked with you both, in different capacities over the last 4 years, I've seen both of you grow. Seen both of you grow incredibly. And to launch something like this, which is, from all the impressions that I get, has been easy and fun and a joyful connection and a spark of light out into the world, that is just how life should be led. So I want to honor and acknowledge both of you for the people that you have become, not just for what you do, but for the lights that you are, because I've seen it change your lives. I've seen you light up, but I know that you will be lighting the way for others and passing on that flame to others as well. And for that, profoundly grateful for you taking a gamble, taking a risk, and working with me and others over the last few years. Every moment that I've spent with you has been a pleasure.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you so much, Ben. That was a pleasure to have you here.
If I might just say one thing to the people who are watching this, if you know Michelle and Shell in any capacity, you will know how special they are and the great things that they have done. But I just want to tell you, every single person can light up in the same way that they have done. Everyone can become something bigger, something greater, something more magical, something brighter than they are. We all have that capacity within us. So if they're inspiring you, let them inspire you. Don't be afraid. Open that door, open it up, and allow yourself to go on the most incredible of adventures.
Thank you, Ben. Let's take a final
one
breath.
last breath, eh? Together.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay.
Hear my kitty in the background. She was breathing with us now. So thank you.
Did you hear my background? Did you hear the booms going off?
No, didn't hear anything.
There's a huge park near me, and it sparks in the park tonight, so it's classical music to fireworks. I forgot about it, so yeah. Anyway.
Well, you lovely people in and out here. I hope we meet you next time. You will join us next time, and you can find all. Yeah, you can find all the information about Ben and Breathing Space if you want to take a look, if you want to join the school or doing a free session. You find everything on his website, makesomebreathingspace.com. We are going to put a link under it. And yeah, I have no final words, just to say thank you very, very much for this lovely session, and bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.